There was a devotee of the name Punathanam. Punathanam. I'm sure those who are from South India, is that the right pronunciation? Maybe Punathanam. So he was from South India, and of course he has a long story. He had a very, very difficult past, and then he completely surrendered to Lord Krishna, and he was a great devotee of Guru Vayurappan, Lord Krishna in Guru Vayur. He was a great devotee of the Lord. Very, very, completely sold out. So he would worship, and then once he went to this particular temple in North Kerala at a place called Kottayur. Kottayur, from those who are from Kerala would know this. It's a famous place. It's a very huge temple. And the main deity of this temple is Lord Shiva. And the uniqueness about this temple is that it's not open throughout the year. It opens only a few days in a year, and then it's closed for the whole year. There's a beautiful story, which you can refer and do some self-study for the same. Why it is like that. So, Punartham, and he went to this place to have darshan of Lord Shiva, and he started reciting Srimad Bhagavatam. And there were hundreds and thousands of people who would come every day to hear his Srimad Bhagavatam discourse. Very, very famous. And then, he was reading the 10th canto, 60th chapter, where Lord Krishna teases Queen Rukmini. And he was speaking about that. And then, the Lord is trying to, pull a prank with Rukmini, saying that, why did you marry me? I am a coward boy from an ordinary village. You had a choice of marrying Shishupal, Salva, Jarasandh. Why did you get married? And Rukmini was feeling so miserable and so shy and so irritated by this question. Krishna was constantly like, why? Please tell me. Why did you? So, Punatham was beautifully describing this particular pastime. And then the time ended, and people were relishing. And the time ended, he put the bookmark, and he kept the Bhagavatam, and the next day he came again. Next day he opened the book. Again, the bookmark was at the page of the beginning of this chapter. So maybe he started, I'm not sure. So again he started describing the glories of the same chapter. And this happened every day. And in matter of 4-5 days, since this happened, the temple was supposed to be closed. It was the last day, the temple was closed for many, many months. So somehow or the other, by the potency of the Lord, Punatham, after doing his service, after offering his respects, he left the temple. He was walking with his devotee friends, he was going. But he forgot his Bhagavatam in the temple. He said, now what will I do? Because Bhagavatam is my life and soul. And it is not like, the way we have access to Bhagavatam on our phones nowadays. Don't worry, if I don't have Bhagavatam, I have access here. There was only few copies available. And if you lose your copy, you don't have it. To again write it, it takes a long, long time. So he actually went, and he actually had crossed the river. It was the place, the temple was at other side. So he went back, running, crossed the river back when temple gates were closed. The pujari had closed it. It was closed. For those who have seen, if you go to Kedarnath or Badrinath, when the dates, everything is closed. We have seen videos of, and then when they open after 6 months, it's 6 months, nothing, no activity. Similarly, this temple, everything was closed, no activity, nobody around. So he was trying to, he said, now what will I do? And obviously, when you find your doors closed, what usually the tendency? What is the tendency usually? You see through the keyhole, right? Is that just a tendency? It's a natural reflex. If the door is closed, then you see from the keyhole. So he was seeing from the keyhole. And he saw from the keyhole and suddenly started hearing sounds of Lord Shiva describing the same chapter to Parvati and with all his Bhutagans around. And Shiva was glorifying this particular same chapter, Krishna teasing Rukmini. And he was using the Bhagavatam of Punatham. And he was amazed. And Lord Shiva was describing, and after his Lord Shiva's class was over, and Punatham was hearing with his ears. And after his class over, Shiva asked, so Parvati Devi, I hope you were happy with the discussion today. Yes, yeah, it was very nice discussion, but not as good as Punatham's discussion that where he did it. You spoke well, but nothing like what he used to speak. So of course, Lord Shiva said, of course I know it. That's why he speaks so well. That's why I used to always change the bookmark and keep it again at the beginning of the chapter. So he speaks the same thing again and again and again. I was myself so enthralled by hearing his description of this particular chapter. I was myself so enthralled. And what the Acharyas explained, especially Ramanujacharya was explaining, that this is the glory of Bhagavad Purana. That even Lord Shiva relishes it, Parvati relishes it. This is that scripture, my dear friends. We are reading a scripture which is relished by the greatest of greatest demigods and personality like Lord Shiva, Paramahansa Samhita, Amala Puranam. And what is the sole purpose of this Purana, my dear friends, is to glorify Krishna.